This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
$20 million, $19 million, $6 million. These are all awards recovered for clients of Phillips Law Firm. To win big, you have to fight big. And Phillips Law has been fighting the too-big-to-fail insurance industry for decades. Not every case will have a multi-million-dollar outcome, but Phillips Law will fight just as hard to recover the outcome you deserve. If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or on the job, call or click today at 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.
Hey, this is BJ. Thanks for listening to our show's podcast. If you're a fan of all things geeky, you should check out my other podcast, BJ Shea's Geek Nation. We have new episodes every day, and you can check it out at bjgeeknation.com.
Your driver's license is important so you can get back and forth to work, get your kids to school, and back and forth to daycare. If your license has been suspended because you can't pay your tickets, you can't do any of those things. Let's talk about Chapter 13 bankruptcy. You may have heard the tickets cannot be discharged, but they can be dealt with in a Chapter 13 case. Why not come in for a free consultation? The chapter you choose will make all the difference to your getting back legally on the road. Let's design a plan to pay off your tickets and restore your license immediately. I'm attorney Travis Gagne. Please contact me today at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com.
99.9 KISW, the Rock of Seattle. This could be one of the funniest pieces of audio you're going to hear in a while. 82-year-old St. Louis Cardinals radio announcer Mike Shannon was reading an ad for the MLB's recently released NFT Stadium Series, which gives fans a chance to bid on digital collectibles. And clearly it was the first time he'd ever saw or heard of NFT, cryptocurrency, and any other terms that he might have been struggling with in his ad.
Oh, my God. How did he think that this was going to go? You have an 82-year-old old-school baseball announcer. Do you really think he's going to be, like, hip to NFT?
I think they knew what they were doing.
You're right, Rev. Okay. I think he's about to retire, too, from what I read. So this is, like, his, like, final hurrah. So maybe they're just like, let's just mess with Grandpa.
Yeah, let's just troll with him.
Now is your chance to come digital. You can bid now on one-on-one Busch Stadium NFT. What's NFT mean? Mike Claiborne, what's an NFT? No friggin' touchdowns. No. No friggin' tonsils. Here's strikeout number 5. NFT stands for non-fungible token. A digital token that's a type of a currency. Man, they have words in here I've never heard before. But unlike a standard coin, in the Bitcoin blockchain, an NFT is a unique and can't be exchanged hence non-fungible online thing you can't sell. Well, I don't use it online, so that's why I don't know.
I mean, it felt like me trying to explain it to myself one time.
Hey, Steve, what's an NFT?
Oh, let me tell you, Steve.
I know this is going to sound, but we're all going to be there someday where it's just like,
we are there.
Oh, yeah, there's plenty of times where I've been there and I'm just like, I don't know what this thing is.
I've embraced that. Yeah, exactly. I'm like at the point where it's like, every time we talk about, like, I don't understand cryptocurrency and NFTs. I get it. I understand the definition. But I don't really care enough to have, like, go knee deep in figuring out everything that's going on with it. Like, I don't want to do a deep dive on that.
Yeah, I mean, I've had that when it comes to, like, having all of my stuff in the cloud, like movies. Mm-hmm. It's like, you mean I won't have a hard copy of it? And then, come to find out that I don't really own it, and I'm basically, paying for a long-term rental, and my brain goes, wait, I remember when I had the DVD or the VHS, and so,
you can't take that away from me, man.
I like, what do how do I really, it's so, dude, I feel for this guy.
That's how it was with music for me. I mean, the movies when I'm like, what, you mean I could have less clutter, but I could still see these movies whenever I want on demand? Absolutely. Music was the hard one for me. Because I was just like, I got this cool streaming service, but what if they stop being a streaming service? Where does all that go? And then in my head, I'm like, dummy, there'll be another streaming service, and you'll be able to get all these things that way then.
Yeah, to have a digital collectible that my brain goes, but anybody can just take a picture of it. and then they've got the digital collectible, but it's, no, you've got the original. And I'm like, I guess, all right.
Yeah, dude, I'm with you, man. I don't get the NFT one. Just seems like it's such a weird thing to me.
The NFT really kind of seems that it'll be like cool in like the near future sort of thing. Once everyone eventually goes online, like Ready Player One, and you can have your own little area that you can set up your little trophies. That's what it seems like to me. Like, I've played way too many video games, but it makes sense in that sort of realm.
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to have paper anything. I think that's really what the world's moving to, is that, they don't want you to have any sort of paper records and paper copies and, hard copies of anything. So you're probably right, Rev. I mean, it's going to be the only way to show that you really are the cool one, is this is non-fungible. Nobody's got the original.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even what Rev just said, I don't know what's happening.
Yeah. And Danny, you're way too young to be 82.
That's fine. But,
But the people that are into it, man, they're into it. And I'm just like, I look at them and I'm just like, so this is what it was like when I was nerding out about wrestling to my grandfather.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, yeah.
About something, whatever it was that was cool to me. Because I'm just like, I have no idea what you're talking about, nor do I care. No.
That's the tough part, man. It's like I always said, I want to at least care. But I'm now not caring.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I don't care. That's why I have it. That's why I had a daughter. She can. I'm just going to give it all to her, and she could be like, figure out the NFT stuff for me. Yay!
Yeah. Give it to the. Was she 7?
Yeah, she said she'll know about it next year.
Yeah, give it to the 7-year-old. She'll figure it out.
If she has questions, beg YouTube it.
Yeah.
Your father doesn't have answers, but I'm sure there's a new YouTube page that does.
And if I YouTube it, I won't understand it. So you tell me what it's about. So.
All right, I've got a proposal.
So we're really no better than that 82-year-old man. We're not. We just don't sound as old.
No. Well, but
voice.
People know.
In mentality, we sound just as old.
There you go.
Exactly.
There you go.
Yeah, but you can tell he's done. I mean, even reading that, it's like I got tired listening to him reading that, because I really felt like he was climbing a mountain that he wasn't going to come back down from. And I'm like, wow, there's some older, Vince Scully, who recently retired, used to do the Dodgers games, and he was like in his 80s for his last season. He sounded a lot more spry than this guy. This guy really sounds like he's just done.
Can we hear him again? Because I kind of now want to hear him with that mindset, because I enjoyed his voice, because he has like that old school baseball announcer voice, and that's so like comforting to me.
Now is your chance to come digital. You can bid now on one-on-one at Busch Stadium NFT. What's NFT mean? Mike Claiborne, what's an NFT? No friggin' touchdown. No. No friggin' tonsils. Here's strikeout number 5. NFT stands for non-fungible token. A digital token that's a type of currency. Man, they have words in here I've never heard before. But unlike a standard coin, in the Bitcoin blockchain, an NFT is a unique and can't be exchanged hence non-fungible. Online thing you can't sell. Well, I don't use it online, so that's why I don't know.
That's why I don't know.
Mike, you did a great job selling that NFT. Thanks a lot, man. We'll hit you up again next week for another one of those.
Now, this is the radio guy. If he was the TV guy, I'd be like, okay, but I think that there was a strikeout. Like, something happened in the game, and he goes,
there's a fifth strikeout right in the middle, yeah.
But again, you can't see the game, so he's like, well, whatever, something happened. Anyway, what's this NFT? And, I don't know, maybe the Cardinals were either blowing out the team or getting blown out, therefore it's like it didn't matter, but he blew by and it back. It was just like, we didn't hear what the count was, we heard nothing. It was just, and there's a fifth strikeout. It was like, well, how did he strike him out on? One pitch? Where are the other pitches when you're on the radio? You got to go, hey, just outside, ball 1. We heard none of that.
It'd be great if the producer of the baseball broadcast phone said, Mike, that was supposed to be like a 10-second commercial. Yeah. You took the entire 6th inning to do that, and we don't even know what happened in the game.
Yeah, exactly. But then at 82, I think that's probably how the whole game goes with him. I'm not sure what battery he's talking about.
Did you guys get Sly Stallone vibes from him ttoo? Like,
they had a little bit of that punch drunk thing going.
Yeah.
I just like that. I like his attempt at cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
Was it like Psychro or
It was not good.
No.
Or the Bitcoin.
Yeah. Well,
I missed that when he said Bitcoin.
I think he said
I think
Bitcoin.
I was laughing about Psychro company or whatever. Right?
I mean, you can't blame him because you think of megabytes, kilobytes, maybe Bitcoin. I mean, he probably thought, well, maybe its computer has got to be like Bitcoin, right? I don't know. I don't go online.
I think he just gave up. He's like, I don't understand any of these things. I'm just going to hopefully maybe people will know what I'm talking about.
How are the Cardinals doing this season? Does it even matter, I wonder?
There's a strikeout.
Yeah, there's a strikeout. I don't think the Cardinals are relevant, to be honest with you. It's Milwaukee. Maybe I'm wrong. I know Milwaukee's leading their division, but I don't know where the Cardinals are.
They're just a couple games over 500 at 64 and 62.
Yeah, so I don't think they're in the running for much.
For a new radio announcer, though.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know what's happening. That's, well, there you go. That's, a little bit into our future, Steve, if we're lucky enough to make it to 82 in this industry.
Oh, man, it's only going to get worse, too.
Oh,
because, the way things are happening, it's happening so fast now with cryptocurrency and all the different types of NFTs and, yeah.
Dude, I just think about 30 years ago, what's no longer.
I want to go back to just 8 tracks, man.
Yeah. I mean, dude, it's over, man. I mean, you think 30 years in your future, Steve, where you'll be in 30 years and how much growth we've seen in 30 years since Pearl, this is Pearl Jam's 30th anniversary of 10. Think about where you were, what your life was like, and now what it is now. Then you go fast forward 30 more years when 10 hits 60. And if you're still on the radio, you're that guy. There's no doubt about it.
No, we made a video just me talking about Pearl Jam's 10, and I was like sharing how I listened to it on a cassette. That alone dates how things were different 30 years ago.
Yeah.
That was the main form of listening. I mean, you had compact discs, but, not everyone had a compact disc player. So cassettes were the way to go.
Cassettes were really cool because there was no compact disc when I was growing up. It wasn't until my 20s, I think, when the CD was starting to be out in stores. So the cassette recorder was the thing because otherwise you had to lug around records.
And we were pumped, but we were able to convince our parents to spring for the big bucks and get the cassette player that when it hit the end of the cassette, it started playing the backwards way.
Oh, yeah.
So you didn't have to flip the cassette, so you could just listen to it in its full entirety.
Whoa, fancy.
You guys were swanky.
Dang.
Yeah, man, that's right. You wanted to come over and listen to tapes at my house.
Well, I think this is a great lead into what we're going to be talking about next. What do you think is the top thing that adults miss most about their childhood?
Oh, yeah, tape decks.
This won't make you feel old. I'll tell you all about this at 8:19 on The Rock.
BJ and Migs, mornings on The Rock, 99.9 KISW.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Wenatchee is gorgeous in the spring with its lush green rolling hills, abundant wildflowers everywhere, and the views of the Columbia River. The local food scene offers an abundant selection of authentic international cuisines featuring the unique farm-fresh ingredients of the region. Wenatchee is also home to award-winning wines, handcrafted hard ciders, and a talented handful of local brewers producing fine craft beers. Visit Wenatchee, the heart of Washington State.
$20 million, $19 million, $6 million. These are all awards recovered for clients of Phillips Law Firm. To win big, you have to fight big. And Phillips Law has been fighting the too big to fail insurance industry for decades. Not every case will have a multi-million-dollar outcome, but Phillips Law will fight just as hard to recover the outcome you deserve. If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or on the job, call or click today at 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.
Want to create a lifetime of memories this spring? Do you remember the joy of jumping as a child? If only there was a way your own kids could experience that same joy safely. Spring Free Trampoline has been engineered to eliminate 90% of product-related injuries. The Spring Free design boasts no springs and a flexible enclosure and proudly offers a 10-year warranty. That's peace of mind. Lock in your ultimate backyard safe space before summer arrives. Visit springfreetrampoline.com.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle. Got a new survey out. A little more than half the people say, you know what? I would love to relive my childhood. specifically between the ages of 7 and 10.
The wonder years.
Everything was magical. Yeah, well, it just shows me that what, the brain rules guy, Dr. John Medina says, and a lot of people say is we alter history and make it look a lot better than it was. There was a lot of fun moments between those ages, but I also remember a lot of drama. So yeah, I'm kind of happy not to go back to those years.
Every day I tell Tatum, I'm like, you don't know how good you have it. I'm kidding. I don't do that.
Yeah. You don't tell her that? Yeah. You really should start. I think, start at a young age to really pound that into her head so that she really thinks she's got a great life by the time she's 2 and terrible.
Look at you. At this point in my life, I was walking uphill both ways in the snow to poop my pants.
That's right. Yeah. You got it so easy now. You can poop your pants anywhere.
You leave your house, there's a slide right next to our house. You know where I had to go to get a slide? I had to go up 2 ways, barefoot.
Dude, I've seen your backyard. I've seen your backyard. She's got a good life.
She's got the best life. That's what I'm telling you, man.
Does. And I told you before, I forget, I think we said this on air, but I thought you had a picture of you and Tatum hanging out with a little little disky thing there. And I thought for sure it was in a park.
Yeah. It's a little, it's called like a spray pad.
Yeah.
Which doesn't sound right, but it's like you put your hose, you hook it up, and it kind of like creates like this little reservoir of water, but also once it gets full, it starts spraying water in the air. It's awesome.
Now, I'm sure your backyard's a normal sized backyard. It's just that when little kids make everything look so much bigger. You know what I mean? It's just, and you're squatting down, so it's just the way your backyard looked like. I thought for sure you guys were at a park. So you tell Tatum, I didn't have anything like that. So
no.
You know what? Nothing.
No. You want to get sprayed, you had to bust open the hydrant.
Oh, yeah. I was a suburb kid, so yeah. That was a city thing. I was a suburb kid.
We did that in our neighborhood all the time.
I was wanting to go to New York because I just thought that was happening on every street corner.
It almost was. In the summer,
awesome.
In the summer, it was ridiculous. Like, I don't even know what the water bill was for the city or the state of New York even, because like people were just opening up those hydrants. That's something, part of my childhood I miss. Like, and you get a can and you put it and you could spray it at your buddies and stuff. It was awesome.
So, is there anything from your childhood, Vicky, that you're like, oh man, I'd love to go back and relive?
I just love being able to have a whole summer to myself with my brother. We would do all the things we weren't supposed to do.
Summer's off.
Yeah, number 2 on the list, the summer breaks, baby.
How's anything better than that?
Right? Like, you could wake up whenever you wanted. It would just be my brother and I and, like, our next door neighbor, and we would ride bikes all the way to the convenience store and pay for snacks with pennies and, quarters. Oh, it was so much fun.
Trying to think of what would be better than the summers. I guess Christmas was pretty cool because you didn't have to worry about buying anything for anyone.
That's number 3 on the list, sir. Congratulations. Right. Yeah.
The anticipation.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. Now you got me. My brain is going in a million miles an hour. So that would be number 1.
Yeah. So number 1 is one that, you know what? It is a thing that just permeates our entire life. It gets worse when you get in a relationship, causes the most trouble in a relationship.
Having kids.
As a kid, I just remember not having to worry about having kids.
Kidding.
Yeah, that's it. And actually, number 1 and it looks like number 5 are they're pretty similar.
Yeah.
Money. Yeah, not having to worry about dough, because pretty much everybody gave you stuff. And of course, not paying any bills is number 5. So money's number 1, not paying bills number 5 on the list.
The allowance was pretty fun because when I don't know what you guys got for an allowance, but I think we got like $5. And man, I could not wait for payday.
Allowance.
I was allowed to live there.
Yeah. No allowance at all.
I mean, I had to do chores to get it, but
yeah, exactly.
I got an allowance. Like, if I didn't do my chores, I didn't get an allowance.
No. Yeah, also I didn't have any chores. So at that point, there was no chores, no allowance.
So so Vicky and Danny, how'd you buy stuff that you wanted that they didn't want to get you?
I didn't.
They stole it.
Oh, maybe when I got older.
So what would you rather, though? To do chores and get an allowance or not do chores at all? Both have their benefits.
I think I liked my life just fine. I was fine with no money and not really because I wanted toys, but the answer was always no, regardless if I had money or not. Because like my grandpa would give me like $20 every time we'd go visit him. But then at that point it would be like mom would be like, no, you're putting that in your savings. So I didn't get to buy anything anyway.
Boring.
Yeah, I feel like, I want to encourage a kid to do savings, but I think when you just tell them to take everything and put in their savings, that's the wrong message.
Yeah, especially because then I spent it all when I was 18 and it was great.
Yeah.
That's
All
pretty
of it
cool.
at once.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, for me, it was like you get that $5 and we would spend it right away. Like, I would go get ice cream or maybe a G.I. Joe action figure, but it was gone as soon as I got it.
yeah, it taught you to work for your money. I mean, that's why allowances and chores together are a great combo. It teaches you basically what you're going to need to do in life.
That's why I loved the winter, even though the snow was sometimes just unbearable. But I would shovel the snow for everyone in my neighborhood, my brother and I, and we would get $10 from the neighbors here for this one, $10 there. So on a good snow day, we could probably get like $60-$70 in one day.
Wow.
And yet,
Awesome.
what they'd have to pay someone professionally to do it, man, were they getting really cheap labor?
Oh, yeah, dude, we were totally taken advantage of. In fact, I'm thinking of filing a lawsuit against
Oh, you think you should? You better hurry up. Get the lawyer
get that back pay and benefits.
Yes.
Yeah, get the lawyer the Nirvana kid's getting. I think that guy will take any case. So,
Quick aside on that, man, I'm dying at all now the goofs that people are doing because people are making fun of the kid that's suing Nirvana because, he was the little baby.
Oh, yeah.
So any album cover that has a young kid, people are putting that up as a meme, saying like the Jar of Flies record, there's a little kid behind like a fly on Alice in Chains record. It says, breaking news, kids suing Alice in Chains for a fear of flies.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's so funny that people are just clowning on the guy for that.
Yeah, it is interesting. I mean, a lot of folks are weighing in. You're absolutely right. And it's not a good look for him, which is unfortunate because, I think I know where he's coming from. I just wish he wouldn't have gone down this road because we just don't need that kind of stuff out there in the world. Find a way to settle it. I mean, come on.
Someone says, 41-year-old father of two, I miss Saturday morning cartoons. You used to be able to just turn on one channel, have an entire morning of cartoons. Now everything's streamed. It's just not the same. I mean, even the commercial breaks were fun. Now it's like, whatever.
I've been going back to watching like television that has commercials in it. Because like my smart TV has its own little weird sort of like cable network thing that I watch, and it has commercials. And even yesterday, I found a YouTube of 45 minutes somebody taped of MTV in 1982, and I watched like a half hour of it because it had commercials. It had like one of the old school VJs like putting in a whole bunch of really old songs.
I would watch sometimes on YouTube. Someone would grab like an entire like episode of Headbangers Ball, and I would watch that, and it's so much fun.
It is. It's really cool.
And like Saturday morning cartoons are fun and everything, and I get his point where it's like it's not the same. But the one thing I hated were in the like fall, summer when my brother and I would play soccer, we'd have to leave on Saturday mornings to go for our soccer games. So I would leave the VHS recording the entire morning to get to the new episode of X-Men Evolution. And there was one episode where it literally cut off right at the end when the big thing was going to happen.
Oh, that sucks.
Because the tape ran out.
Oh, no. That's so bad.
So, and it took me like another year until I could actually watch that episode and figure out what came of it.
It's funny.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you couldn't get to just go on demand and get it.
I couldn't just stream it or just DVR it.
That's funny you say that because like as much as we like look back on like, oh, it's so great getting to watch all those things, but there's certain things now like I think about like the things I hated about my childhood was missing out on those awesome moments. Missing out on those awesome moments, like when at like 11:30 at night on a Saturday Night Live would be usually on, but then sometimes they would do Saturday night's main event, the wrestling show, and I'd be like so pumped. I'm like, I'm going to stay up late and watch wrestling at 11 o'clock at night. But I was a kid, I was all worn out by the whole day. It was like come 11:29 or whatever. Like if I would fall asleep and I would wake up like 10 minutes after it finished airing. And man, that's when I learned my curse words because I'd wake up like fudge. My mom would be mad. What's wrong? I'm like, I missed Saturday night's main event because there was no on demand. There was no DVR. I didn't have a VHS player at the time. It sucked.
There is a group of, there's just a whole bunch of generations that don't even know what you're talking about. The idea that you really could miss something on TV.
That's what I love about the WWE
There's no way to
network.
go get it back.
On the WWE network, they had the old Saturday night main events, and I remember specifically. I remember this one, and I would watch them. I'm like, I don't remember any of this. I'm like, this was the one I fell asleep on, and it was so awesome. I finally got like resolution 30 years later.
This is how Steve relives his childhood. Yes, that's so funny.
So we're talking
Steve,
about,
I got it. I got you.
We talk about that people want to relive their childhood. About 55% of Americans say they'd love to go relive their time between the ages of 7 and 10, the magical years. And people say what they miss most is money, summer breaks from school, Christmas. Number 4 on the list. We did number 5, which is not paying any bills. Number 4, I don't know if Danny and Vicky are feeling this. Steve, maybe you and Rev are starting to know you might be missing this. I sure as hell know I am. and that is always having energy. Boy, that is something I totally miss.
What's this energy you speak of?
Right?
Yeah.
I have felt that since having Lily, in terms of, and just being like, wow, you always want to do stuff. Like, she's 7, she's ready to go. And I thought I had energy, and it's like, no, I just want to lay down.
No, I have a conspiracy theory
anything.
that kids suck the energy out of you. They steal it. They siphon it out of
That's
you.
a conspiracy.
Yeah, I think
it's just the truth.
Because I'm so tired all the time. And it's a little brother that I have. I don't even have a kid full time, and I'm exhausted. I don't know how you guys do it.
and then they get to
Coco
sleep.
Melon.
And when they're ready to sleep, they sleep. You know what I mean? Like sometimes when you're out of energy and you go, why can't I shut my mind off? Kids are like, and they go, oh, time to shut it down. Boom, done.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, I missed that. They just know how to go. They had to go to volume 11, and then they know how to shut it down. And I miss both of those phenomenons. Oh, that's a good one. And not having aches and pains is also on the list. Not having to work is on the list.
Somebody said I miss most about my childhood is my functioning back.
My back hurts today, and it's because I slept weird. It's not because I jumped off a roof or did anything. It was I slept weird.
Yeah, for a couple of days, Tatum was on a kick of sleeping on the floor. We try to get her to sleep in her bed, and she's just like, nope. She would crawl out of it and go right on the floor and sleep on the floor. And I'm like, that's something you do when you're just you have no other options.
If I lay on the floor right now, I'm not getting back up. It's just not happening.
Oh, that's why camping is tough for me. I can't lie just on a completely horizontal surface without anything. That would wreck me. And yet the kids they're so pliable, those young kids. They can sleep upside down. They can sleep on a wall. It doesn't matter. They're fine.
Oh, I like this text. Says, I miss when my mom would nurture me when I was sick. Now if I'm sick, my wife just says, suck it up and stop being so dramatic. I must have texted this because it sounds just like me. I feel your pain. Whenever I have she's like, what's wrong? I'm like, I don't know. I just don't feel all that good. She's like, you got the sniffles. I'm like, what are you making fun of me because I don't feel good? My mom would make me Jell-O. What the hell? Where's my Jell-O? Make me some Jell-O.
Yeah, that's something that, you heard a lot of women say starting in the 80s and today, I am not going to be your mother. But it sucks. Then it's like, well, no one's being my mother. That kind of sucks because mom was the best.
And then Tatum gets sick. All of a sudden, I'm witnessing how my mom was to me. I'm like, oh, you have the capability and the skill set to be nurturing.
Exactly.
We have the same hairline. We're both. Treat us the same.
Come on. Yeah, no, I'm with you,
more
man.
Hair to me. That's from back in the day.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I've noticed that she's past you.
Oh, way
sorry,
past,
buddy. Yeah, way past you. Sorry about that, man. Yesterday, Steve, he did get this one wrong.
Who provided the original voice of the Iron Giant?
Huh?
Who provided the original voice for the Iron Giant?
Oh, no, I heard it. I just
okay.
Who the hell's the Iron Giant? I'm going to go with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
No.
Jack Black.
No.
Samuel L. Jackson.
No.
Do you remember now, Steve, still? Do you know?
Yeah, Groot.
There you go.
Yep.
Very good.
Vin Diesel.
That's the guy. You want a shot at PDC? You got it. 206-421-ROCK. We're going to play Beat Migs. We're going to do that at 8:50 on The Rock.
Today's podcast was brought to you by Travis Gagne, bankruptcy attorney. Here's another question from a listener. How long is a bankruptcy going to affect my credit rating?
Of course, most of the time, by the time we're talking about filing a bankruptcy, the credit has already taken a huge hit. Chapter 7 is going to affect it more negatively than Chapter 13. Chapter 7 stays on your credit report for 10 years from the time you file. It usually takes 7 or 8 years for your credit scores to get back into the normal range in a Chapter 7 case. However, your credit will start to recover even in Chapter 7 after about a year. You'll be able to get credit again right away, usually before your case is even over. Chapter 13 stays on your credit report for 7 years and usually takes about 3.5 years for your credit to get back in the normal range. So Chapter 13 will mean your credit gets better much more rapidly.
Thanks, Travis. If you have more questions about bankruptcy, you can reach out to Travis anytime at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com. Thanks for listening.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Wenatchee is gorgeous in the spring with its lush green rolling hills, abundant wildflowers everywhere, and the views of the Columbia River. The local food scene offers an abundant selection of authentic international cuisines featuring the unique farm-fresh ingredients of the region. Wenatchee is also home to award-winning wines, handcrafted hard ciders, and a talented handful of local brewers producing fine craft beers. Visit Wenatchee, the heart of Washington State.
Want to create a lifetime of memories this spring? Do you remember the joy of jumping as a child? If only there was a way your own kids could experience that same joy safely. Spring Free Trampoline has been engineered to eliminate 90% of product-related injuries. The Spring Free design boasts no springs and a flexible enclosure and proudly offers a 10-year warranty. That's peace of mind. Lock in your ultimate backyard safe space before summer arrives. Visit springfreetrampoline.com.